You want to know what I love most? What I love in team building and decision making in this game, in this thing we call sports. You have to be smart. And what we just saw was Brian Cashman being smart. Okay. So yesterday we traded Chase and Shreve and a prospect for international money and Luke Voigt. Now at the time you're thinking, oh, what is Cashman doing? Uh, you know, like yeah. But most Yankees fans were happy that we flipped Shreve for just something. We flipped Shreve for not anything. For the number one pitching prospect this year in osiel Rodriguez. Should have been easily 1 million to sign him. Was hint at why we got 1.5 in that trade. But Cashman keeps doing Cashman things at the negotiation table. He mind traps you. Like I'm so blessed to have Brian Cashman as a GM of one of my favorite teams. I'm so blessed to have Danny Ainge as a GM. I like all of my GMs, but some of them stand out more than others. Now, Osiel Rodriguez was throwing at he could reach 98 when he was 15, and he's 16 now. It's no doubt about it. Look, some Yankees fans were mad when we missed out on the Otani sweepstakes. This is our Otani, you know. I knew Brian Cashman was going to go after an international guy with all that money he had stacked up. Didn't know he was going to after OCL. I am so stoked right now because the future of our rotation looks so good. When CC retires, we have a guy to put in like Sheffield. Then when the next guy is going like Tanaka, we have a guy to put in like Rodriguez, and so on. Sessa, Lasagna. We have such 11 of 13 of our prospects, our top prospects right now, are pitching prospects. Ryan Cashman knows what he's doing. He sees teams like the Nationals who have like two aces in Strasburg and Scherzer, and he sees teams like the Dodgers who have a stacked starting rotation. They have probably the best in MLB. He wants to be a team like that. He wants to compete for years to come. Prospects is just where it's at in baseball, and I keep trying to tell people that because these prospects coming up in today's league isn't just any sort of prospect. Like teams like the Rays and the Pirates could start dynasties if these guys. It hinges on their future. If these guys ball out, and if you get a good one, most likely they're gonna ball out unless injury holds them back down. One of my favorite prospects of this year's draft was, and don't get mad, Yankees fans. Come on now, I have respect for the Red Sox because I'm mostly all my other teams are Boston teams mostly, but Tristan Casas was a sleeper for me in my opinion in the draft. I do like the third baseman that the Cardinals drafted too, but he was a sleeper. There's a lot of sleepers in the first round in this year's MLB draft. I don't know if anyone cares about the MLB draft. I'm just gonna say my opinion. The guy had a good combine, he had a good showcase, and he fell down to a team like the Red Sox. He fell down to a good situation. Now he he doesn't have injury problems, but he got injured. Um, like as his like he wasn't even, I don't even think, a week in games as a Red Sox in their system yet. Um, he could ball out though. He could be a guy I'm scared to face in the Subway Series to come because Tristan Casas is a beast. He my you know what? I'll compare him to Paul Goldschmidt because honestly, people are sleeping on him. Probably a Freddie Freeman type too because he can make those plays for you at first. But again, I mean, not too athletic, not trying to do too much, but just enough for the team to win. He's a really good hitter. Um, I love the guys the Yankees got in the first round. Still just confused on why he plays like all the positions on the diamond. Even pitches too. Like I'm not trying to be rude. He doesn't have to. I guess that's what got him drafted, right? You don't have to stick to one, but it's just so confusing. I imagine we're playing at catcher, but at least we have the opportunity. Like, if we can't play him at catcher, we play him at second, play him at first, if it opens. But Tristan Casas, Red Sox fans, if you're listening, you're a Red Sox fan right now. You guys have a really bright future. Okay. I know it sounds weird for a Yankees fan telling that, and it's not anything like. Trust me, I'm not lying to you. Which I think we already know the Red Sox. The Red Sox are going to be they are a dynasty already, but they're going to start a whole new dynasty in the future. Um, because they're red hot right now. You got to look at their team on paper. Their team on paper doesn't look like they should be doing with the things that they do. Um, you know, they just aren't fancy. You know that Cora is a good manager, and they get things done. You know, Mookie is their superstar. JD Martinez is their second superstar. I think that was a really good signing for them. Three, and then three, I think that they have if they can get Dustin Pedroia back healthy. This is why I think Tristan Casas fits so well for. I'm not. I know it's like a Yankee segment. I didn't want to talk about the rest of, but I just like Tristan Casas so much. But here, I just like covering all teams. I'm not hateful or anything. I want to see teams succeed, you know. But Tristan Casas, if the Red Sox can get Dustin Pedroia back, and if they can't, then that's when you slide in Casas, and he starts working his magic. I love Dustin Pedroia. He's one of my favorite players of all time. One of the favorite players in the league, and I was really excited to see him come back. And him and Mookie like are the only reason I watch Red Sox games. Now, I was really sad to see that he was really injury prone. He had injury problems this year. I hope he bounces back the hard as he can, man. Um, but at least Red Sox fans can say, hey, we have those guys in our system like Casas, and we can just slide up and they can get the win. Another thing that scares me for the future, the Astros have a lot of good pitching prospects. And it was something I was looking at the other day. Um, it was one in particular that just, I don't want the Astros to be a dynasty. I think we can all agree on that, you know. I don't want to hear Astros fans' mouth for the coming years, but, um, you know, it really all, here's, the, everyone is getting pitching prospects, to be honest. And it, and the Rays are probably gonna. People are sleeping on the Rays in my opinion. I think that they're gonna give the Yankees more fits than we already have with them. We can't beat them right now, and they're not even winning a winning team. You know, we're beating these teams. Like honestly, the Rays have when the Rays got Christian Arroyo, I thought, well, shoot, just give them. Oh, because they didn't need Christian Arroyo, but that's just my opinion. They really didn't. And they have a really good prospect system, and that for me, Christian Arroyo is a really good third baseman. Like he's a really, really good third baseman. That's really their stud. That's their future third baseman, in my opinion, or second. Put him anywhere in the infield, to be honest, other than first, because he's gonna make some plays for you. But like, um, yeah, I love Christian Arroyo. I was sad to see that the Giants gave him up so fast. I thought that was stupid of the Giants because he is a stud. He's a diamond in the rough. I know it sounds crazy because everyone knows he's a top prospect. He's not dominant in the rough, but he's a dominant in the rough. Trust me. The Rays have pitching prospects. They have a little bit of all, but like I said, it's really going to come down in the future. It's going to come down to whose prospect and pitching turns out the best. You know, like whose starting rotations is dominating more. Because I think baseball is more of a pitching game than hitting. I really hate when you see a lot of runs being scored. You want your pitcher to give you a shutout game, shutout performance, so you can help the team win. And at most, you want them to give up 3 runs so the team can win. And that's the whole thing. It's really a defensive game, and people don't understand how huge defense is. Baseball is a pitching sport. It just is. It's both. I know it's both. That you have to hit square runs, but pitching just has to come first, in my opinion. And I love that people and GMs are focusing on pitching prospects for future. I know what Cashman just did just pissed off a lot of GMs because osiel is really good and he's only 16. And I know other GMs were looking at signing him too. Now, there's another prospect. The number one prospect cannot be signed. The number one, he's not a pitcher, But then I believe that I saw that the number one prospect, I believe he's Cuban or something. Not to look this. Yeah, he's an outfielder, Victor Mesa. Um, about all of the rest are signed, but he is one that he's not signed. They said he cannot be signed on July 2nd. He is not declared as a free agent yet. Now he's the top prospect in the world in international prospects. This is what shocks me. He is now we just signed the best pitching prospect, right? We signed the number one pitching prospect, and he was also fifth on all of the lists, so that was a good signing. Now I don't know if Mess is holding out for one money. Now I think that Cashman should go after him because he's a stud. Of course, he's a stud. I mean, he's the number one prospect. I think we should try to get him, but he said he doesn't want to sign. So I don't think there's much we can do about that. I seen something. I don't know. Something. He doesn't have an agent yet. Something. I don't know. But everyone else is signed. The teams. I mean, the Giants have Luciano. The Dodgers have Diego. The Mariners have Marte. And then we have osiel. That's how the top five goes. But Victor isn't signed to anyone. He hasn't signed yet. So maybe that'll change. There's an Otani situation where I don't know. You remember Otani couldn't. It was very confusing. You have to learn. Japan like why he couldn't sign, and why it was so spin. Like it was so many crazy things with the Otani situation. With international prospects getting better, we're just gonna have to learn more about these rules and restrictions over there. I don't know what it is though. But yeah, that's gonna be all, man. I'm so excited for our future, and I know other teams may feel this way too. I don't know why Victor isn't. I hope he really changes. I hope he declares for the draft or declared to be a free agent. Sorry, he's not eligible for the draft. But yeah, I hope he declares to be a free agent. We'll see this off season what happens with Victor though. Don't forget out the off season. Um, After the World, we'll see what happens with Victor. I think a lot of teams are going to be bidding in on him, and it might be an Otani situation. That's why I'm bringing up Otani because a lot of teams are obviously going to want the number one international prospect, and he's really good. So, like I said, we'll see what happens.